Hi, my name is David Achonu, and I recently wrote a research proposal on olfactory priming and its effects on food and hygiene behavior. Today, I'm going to tell you about my research findings and my goals for future research. Firstly, what is priming? Priming is a psychological phenomenon whereby various stimuli can influence an individual's behavior. It was first popularized by John Bard and colleagues in his landmark 1996 paper. However, primal results have recently become a topic of debate due to failure to replicate their results. Although there are many possible reasons as to why this is occurring, I resolved to investigate if these variations are due to the sheer nature of the behaviors being primed for. This kind of conjures the question, is the effect of priming dependent on the behavior being primed for? The goals of my research are to enhance the body of knowledge regarding specifically olfactory priming, the type of priming I proposed for this study. I resolved to investigate the efficacy of priming in different situations with different behaviors being primed for, and I resolved to reveal tactics to promote dietary or hygiene modulation. At this point, you may be wondering why food and hygiene? Well, the current literature has illustrated that hygiene is relatively easy to prime for and influence, while food behaviors are harder to influence. This may explain the variations in the priming results, since some prime for food, and some prime for hygiene, and some prime for even a wider variety of behaviors. Okay, so how are we going to conduct this study? Firstly, I will survey participants for prior food preferences and perceived hygiene. This will be used to statistically account for the behaviors after the study. Researchers will prime for cleanliness or a particular food using the ambient room smell. This can be done by releasing a specific odor, such as citrus fruit for cleanliness, or like a meat flavor for food. Then participants will complete an activity in that room, so they think that the activity is what the study is on, but really we're trying to see if we can non-volitionally make them want to either be hygienic or eat a specific food. Participants will select the food and then they may perform a personal hygiene practice prior to eating. This data will be collected to determine whether priming had an effect on behavior, and statistical analysis will be run to determine if it had a statistically significant effect. As for why this matters, well, the study will enhance society's understanding of personal decision-making. They'll provide valuable information regarding decision-making as well. They'll promote public health and personal well-being, and will be a catalyst for future research and practical application. Thank you for watching, everyone. Any questions?
Yes, we have some questions. Thanks, Dave. So do you think priming effects are sensitive to internal states such as motivation or attention? For example, do you think priming will lead to the same effect from one day to another?
See, the thing with priming is that it likely has a small effect on behavior, right? So behavior is a result of a multitude of environmental factors, right? So personal motivation, intrinsic motivation, extrinsic motivation, and even external factors like what priming could influence. So the effect of priming is kind of dependent on the various factors that affect that specific behavior. So it really depends on the behavior, right? For something like hygiene, right? It seems like there's not many things that could affect it. For something like food preference, it could be any dietary restrictions, family. So it really depends holistically on like the other factors that are influencing behavior.
Got it. And then what is an example of a real life application of priming that has helped you in your own life?
So in my school, actually, I kind of proposed a priming idea that has been implemented right now. And because obviously, because of the pandemic, we're seeing that we need to be more hygienic. So in each bathroom now, there's like, they actually produce citrus, kind of like a Febreze almost type thing in each bathroom, which I feel like is, at least, I mean, obviously, since I prompted the idea, I'm biased, but it seems that it's causing people to be more hygienic and wash their hands more often, which is obviously very important as we see that the likelihood of pandemics is increasing in the future.
What was the process to get that like approved at your school? I'm just curious
So
now.
yeah, first I had to I went to my psychology teacher because this is like a psychological thing, and I take a psychology course. I told her about the idea. She said it sounds like a good idea. I wrote up a proposal, and then I have a very good relationship with my principal, so I went to him, and then he went to the janitorial staff and was like, "Is this something that could be implemented?" And then since it was a relatively simple kind of thing to do, they didn't see any problem with it. And then that was kind of the route that I took. It took a couple months, but it was, it's cool.
Very cool. Yeah. Executed.
Yeah.
Um, and then my last question is, what advice would you give to another student just starting research on this topic?
I would advise anyone trying to do research, specifically something of this nature, to take or at least develop an understanding of statistics, right? As for like I mentioned in the presentation, statistically accounting for behaviors and running statistical analysis after, right? It's very important for studies to understand participants, sample size, and different analysis techniques, like analysis of covariance or chi-squared, things like that. So before any type of research, or specifically something of this nature, I'd recommend someone have a robust understanding of statistics.
Great. Thank you so much, Dave.